सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सुखं नित्यं स्वप्रकाशं व्यापकं नामरूपयोः अधिष्ठानं बुद्ध्यबोध्यं बुद्धिर्दृग्यत्तु निर्मलम् अपारं सर्ववेदान्तवेद्यं प्रत्यक्परं महः तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यदिति मे निश्चिता मतिः। We are seeing these four types of consciousness. In that, the third type of consciousness called Ishvara Chaitanyam, and in that description of Ishvara was given. Ishvara is consisting of the consciousness reflected in Maya and the consciousness which is Adhishtanam of everything. And this put together is called Ishvara. And in the Tippani there was a reconciliation with the description given in Panchadashi, where it is said that Ishvara reflected in the Buddhi Vasana is Ishvara. So the consciousness reflected in Buddhi Vasana is Ishvara. And that was reconciled by saying that Buddhi Vasana and the Sattvic Amsha of Maya both are one. Because Buddhi has got his Upadana Karanam in Sattvamsha of Maya. Therefore, to say that Buddhi Vasana Pratibimbita is equal to Sattvamsha Maya Pratibimbita. And therefore, there is no contradiction. And this Ishvara is called Antaryami because it has got Niyamaka Upadhi. It is the Upadhi which is controlling Upadhi. Jiva has got the controlled Upadhi, therefore Niyamya. And Ishvara is Nitya Mukta because the basis for bondage is Swarupa Agdanam. That Swarupa Agdanam is not there for Ishvara because the Avrana Shakti of Maya is not operative for Ishvara. Therefore Ishvara is Nitya Mukta. And since Ishvara has got the Upadhi which is Sattva Guna Pradhana, therefore Ishvara is Sarvajna. So this Ishvara is Antaryami, Nitya Mukta and Sarvajna. And then regarding the bondage and freedom, it was clarified that this bondage and freedom is always with reference to Abhasa. And then further clarification was given. This bondage and the freedom will be in that Abhasa where Avidya is there. Bondage and freedom will not be there in that Abhasa where Avrana Shakti is not operational. And that idea was given in the next paragraph where it was said Jiva is Baddha and Mukta because Jiva has got the Upadhi which is Malina Sattva. And Malina Sattva is the one where Rajoguna and Tamoguna are overpowering. And therefore Rajoguna Tamoguna Adhikyat, because of their high degree, Rajoguna Tamoguna high degree, because of that alone Avidya, Miss Sattva Guna is the predominant. Miss Sattva Guna is required to be a predominant factor in Avidya to be reflecting medium. Avidya can be a reflecting medium only when it has got Sattva Guna Pradhanata. But that Sattva Guna Pradhanata is further qualified as Malina Sattva and Shuddha Sattva. So Sattva Gunam is there, but it is Rajoguna and Tamoguna, it is overpowered. Therefore, this Avidya is called Malina Sattva Pradhana. So Pradhanyam of Sattva Gunam is talked about for making the avidya fit for being reflecting medium. But it is malinatvam is talked about to show that avidya avarana shakti is operational. And malinatvam is rajas tamo gunabhyam abhibhuta. It is overpowered. Alright. And being overpowered by rajoguna and tamoguna makes the sattva guna malina. Alright. And that avidya, where rajoguna and tamoguna has got high degree of influence. Influence wise we can say high degree. Rajas tamoguna adhikyat means influence is higher, and therefore this avidya is called malina sattva, and that avidya is swapratibimbita jiva chidabhasa jiva rupa chidabhasa bhasamshasya avranam karoti. This avidya, which is malina sattva pradhana, this avidya is doing the avaranam for the reflection obtaining in itself. So avidya does the veiling for the chit pratibimba which is obtaining in avidya. And therefore alone, therefore means what? Since upadhi of jiva is avidya, which is doing the avaranam for the chidabhasa rupa jiva, therefore alone jivaha baddhaha. Jiva is baddhaha, bound. Na ishvaraha. Ishvara is not bound because ishvara's upadhi is maya, which is the shuddha sattva pradhana. Shuddha sattva pradhana means not coming under the influence of rajoguna and tamoguna. Therefore, that maya upadhi does not do avaranam for its pratibimba. So he had given general rule that whichever upadhi, whichever avidya, amsha of the avidya is responsible for jivatva upadhi, that will have avarakatvam. And Ishvara's chidabhasa is not having, the amsha of the avidya or maya, where Ishvara is chidabhasa of Ishvara is reflected, that jivatva status is not coming. Therefore, that avidya will not be avaraka. So it is a way of saying. In simple words, what we say is that maya is malina sattva pradhana, shuddha sattva pradhana. And being shuddha sattva pradhana, it does not create avaranam for the reflection of consciousness obtaining in itself. And therefore for Ishvara, there is no avaranam. So where avaranam will be there, and avarana will be always with reference to chidabhasa. Chidabhasa will have avarana or no avarana depending upon where it is reflected. Like reflection of the sun will have this clarity or non-clarity depending upon the medium it is reflected in. The Shuddha Surya will not have the clarity and non-clarity. It is always bright. Only the reflection will have this brightness or non-brightness depending upon where it is reflected. So here also the Chidabhasa will have this avarana and non-avarana depending upon where it is reflected. And based on the avarana and non-avarana, veiling and non-veiling of Chidabhasa, it will have bondage or no bondage. Ataheva jivaha baddhaha na ishvaraha. Sarvadhisthana bhuta shuddha chaitanya sahitaha bayas pratibimba chidabhasa rupa ishvaraha tatpada vachyarthaha. In Mahavakya, the tatpada vachyartha is Ishvara, which is consisting of the Maya pratibimba chidabhasa. Maya pratibimbita chidabhasa. Chidabhasa reflected in Maya along with the Shuddha Chaitanyam, which is going to be called as a Brahma Chaitanyam, which is the Adhishtanam of everything. So Adhishtana Chaitanyam plus Maya pratibimbita Chaitanyam is called Ishvara. And Kevala Adhishtana Shuddha Chaitanyam is the Tatpada Lakshyartha. Tatpada Vachyartha is the Chidabhasa plus Shuddha Chaitanyam. Lakshyartha is only Adhisthana Bhuta Shuddha Chaitanyam. And then he explained that when in Shastra it is said Ishvaraha Jagadutpatti Sthiti Samharan Karoti, what is the meaning? The meaning is that Adhisthana Bhuta Chaitanyam is only Asanga, therefore it does not do anything. But Chidabhasa, which is obtaining in Maya Upadhi, that alone does Utpatyadikam. And Sarvagdatvadi Guna also belongs to that Ishvara only. Bhaktanugraha also is done by that Ishvara only. Chidabhasa Ishvara. And then what is the role of this Chaitanyam, Shuddha Chaitanyam, which is considered to be a part of Ishvara? When you consider that to be a part, it must have some role. And he says role is only this much. Satta Spurti Pradatvam Antara Anyat Aishwaryadikam Kinchit Na Upapadyate. Tasmin Shuddha Chaitanya. In pure consciousness, except this giving, lending this existence and consciousness, no other power, glory is there. No any other glory except this lending existence and consciousness in pure consciousness. So pure consciousness only does this lending existence and consciousness. It does not do any particular thing. Srushti, Sthiti, Laya, Anugraha, Nigraha. These are the 5 karmas. Ishvara, Panchakritya Parayana, Lalita Sahasranama, Panchakritya. These are Panchakritya. So Anugraha Nigraha means controlling that if required, disciplining, all this called Nigraha. So Srushti, Sthiti, Laya, Anugraha, Nigraha. These are Panchakritya. They are there only in Chidabhasa. Okay. Now, with this, the description of Ishvara Swarupa is complete. And iti word we have seen, iti abhiprayaha or iti Ishvara Swarupa Varnanam. Both. Now, Brahma Swarupa Varnanam. So we have seen the 4 Akasha as Drishtanta, and correspondingly we have seen 3 Chaitanya. Ghatakasha Sthaniya is Kutastha Chaitanyam, Jalakasha Sthaniya is Jiva Chaitanyam, Meghakasha Sthaniya is Ishvara Chaitanyam. Now Mahakasha Sthaniya Brahma Chaitanyam is described. Brahma Swarupa Varnanam, the description of the nature of Brahman. People have a lot of, this misconception about what Brahman is. So we generally imagine some mystical entity to be Brahman. Therefore here it is clarified. Mahakashavat. So he makes it clear in the beginning itself. Like Mahakasha means like all pervasive total space. Brahmandanam antaha bahihi cha vyapya vartamanam akhanda paripurna chaitanyam Brahma iti uchyate. So what is Brahman? Chaitanyam Brahma. Consciousness is Brahman. People that thought that somebody consciousness you already used for Atma. Now Brahman you should say something new. So we means Shastra doesn't introduce or Shastra doesn't reveal Brahman as a new entity. Shastra reveals Atma alone as Brahman, and Atma is Chaitanyam. Therefore, Chaitanyam Brahma iti uchyate. So what is Brahman? In one word, answer Chaitanyam. Prajnanam Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Jnanam Brahma. Chaitanyam is Brahma. Acha, where is it? Brahmandanam antaha bahihi cha vyapya. Having pervaded inside and outside this Brahmanda, universe. This physical universe is pervaded by this consciousness, inside and outside. Means, if there is something outside Brahmanda, Brahmanda will be only material, the space is excluded, therefore with outside we can say. So outside this Brahmanda, outside this world, the material world, and inside this material world, Vyapya, having pervaded this outside and inside this Brahmanda Nam. Here Brahmanda Nam uses. So this universe, in science also they are now talking about multi-universe concept. A multi-universe. They said a multi-universe will solve some of our issues. Anyway, we have this, that there are many words. So Brahmandanam Antarbahi cha Vyapya. Having pervaded inside and outside of this Brahmanda, these worlds, and Vartamanam, Vyapya Vartamanam. It is present, having pervaded. And it is Akhanda. It is free from any division. Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Swagata, Bheda, Rahita, Akhanda. And Paripurnam. Paripurnam means it is complete. Means nothing is lacking, nothing is limiting it. So Paripurnam is limitless. Chaitanyam is Brahma Uchyate. Alright. And now he gives the support for this type of presentation. Bhashye cha Uktam. Hey, Bhashye means Brahma Sutra Bhashya. In Brahma Sutra Bhashya, Jignasa Adhikaranam, this topic is described, is presented. First sutra is Athato Brahma Jignasa. Atha, thereafter, Ataha, therefore, Brahma Jignasa, the inquiry into Brahman should be done. There Bhashyakara raises the question. He said, this inquiry into Brahman should be done, but you first tell me, this Brahman is known or unknown? If it is already known, then why should we do inquiry? And if it is unknown, unknown thing can never become the object of inquiry. If something is totally unknown, it doesn't become object of inquiry. You never inquire about something which is totally unknown. Even for something to be inquired into, somewhat it should be known. So, Uvaya Pasha Rajju Purva Paksha is raised. With both sides it will corner. That Prasiddha then need not be inquired. Aprasiddha cannot be inquired. Then Brahma Bhashyakara says, from this, first of all in Shastra the word Brahman is used. And we have Shraddha in Shastra that Shastra will not use any useless word. Some meaning will be there. And we understand the meaning based on the root. And this Brahman word is derived from Bruh Dhatu. Bruh Vistare, Vruddho. And once we have got root meaning, then we will reveal the entire Vedanta from one word Brahman only. So that much this capacity our Sampradaya has, that you give one word and it will derive the entire teaching based on Shastra. And that is how Bhashyakara presents this explanation of the word Brahman in Brahma Sutra Bhashya. Brahma Shabdasya hi Vyutpadyamanasya Nitya Shuddhatvadayah Arthaha Pratiyante Bruhatehe Dhatoho Arthanugamat. He, for us, we will keep it simple. He indeed, Brahma Shabdasya Arthaha, meanings of the word Brahma Pratiyante are found. What are the meanings found? Nitya Shuddhatva Dayaha. So the word Brahma conveys the idea of Nityatvam. Brahma conveys the idea that there is something which is Nityam, permanent, Shuddham, pure, etc. So Nitya, Shuddha, Vyapaka, all these meanings are derived of the word Brahman. How? He says, Vyutpadyamanasya Brahma Shabdasya. When Brahma Shabda is analyzed, etymologically analyzed, Vyutpadyamana means when etymologically analyzed, then the meaning of the word Brahman will be Nitya Shuddhatvadaya Arthaha. Why? Brihate Dhatoho Arthanugamat. Because of the accordance with, Anugama means accordance with, the Artha, the meaning of Brihate Dhatoho, of the root Brih. Brih Dhatu, Brihatehe means Brih Dhatu. Brih only. Dhatu means the root. So because of the accordance with the meaning of the word Brihati, the root Brih. So what is the meaning of Brihate Dhatu Arthanugamat? Means if we understand the meaning of the root Brih well and analyze and find out the corollaries, then these meanings will come. The word Brahman is derived from Brih Dhatu, and Brih Dhatu and will take Man Pratyaya etc. And then if you analyze with all corollaries, then it will have this meaning, Nitya Shuddhatvadaya. So Nitya Shuddhattvadayaha, these meanings are derived from the word Brahma based on the root Briha, based on the meaning of the root Briha. Brih. Alright. Bruhi Dhatu also is there, Brih also is there. When it is Bruhi, then Idito Num Dhato Brumhati will happen. If it is Brih only, then Barhati can happen or Brihati can happen. So the three varieties are there. Brih is the sixth conjugation and the first conjugation. Bruhi, I think it is first conjugation. Then Idito Num Dhato Brumhati it happens. Okay. And when Guna take place, Bhuganta Laghupadasya, then Barhati happens. Alright. So Vyakarana is okay, so we can do a little bit. Brihate Dhatoho Arthanugamat. Alright. Then Bhashyakara, he says that we cannot dismiss the existence of Brahman. Why? Sarvasya Atmatvacha. Because Brahman is the very self of all. And therefore, Brahmastitva Prasiddhihi. Therefore, there is establishment or well-knownness of the existence of Brahman. So people say, I don't believe in Brahman. So you have freedom to say anything, but when you are denying the existence of Brahma, you are denying the existence of yourself. Asanneva sa bhavati asat brahmeti ched veda. So if you consider Brahman to be asat, you are considering yourself to be asat. Why? Because Brahma happens to be you. That is said here, Sarvasya Atmatvacha Brahma Astitva Prasiddhihi. The whole Vedanta is meaningful, valid, makes sense, is useful only because Brahman is self-evident self. That is our bread and butter. If Brahman is not self-evident self, then Brahman will remain eternal mystery only. You will say, Brahman I like this, Brahman like this, and you teach to your disciple teach to others. Nobody will say, where is Brahman, what is Brahman? Exactly. So this teaching becomes meaningful because Brahman is available, is self-evident self. Alright. Iti Bhashyakara, he highlights this. Brahma is Atma. Therefore, this teaching is meaningful. Okay. Now, this is Bhashyam, he quoted, for conveying this idea that Brahman is Chaitanyam, which is Akhanda Paripurna. Now he says this Bhashyam is explained by Ratna Prabha. So he goes to one more level. See, first of all, he went to Brahma Sutra. And in that Bhashyam is Ratna Prabha. It's called Bhashya Ratna Prabha, is a commentary. Bhashyam eva Ratnam Bhashya Ratnam. Bhashya Ratnasya Prabha is Bhashya Ratna Prabha. Bhashya Ratna Prabha means what? Shining of the gem called Bhashyam. Bhashya Ratna Prabha. Bhashya Ratna Prabhayam evam Vyakhyatam. It is explained in this manner. How it is explained? Sacha arthaha mahat swarupaha iti vyakaranat nishchiyate. Sacha artha refers to brihate dhatoho artha. The meaning, that meaning, sacha artha means that meaning. That meaning is the meaning of the root brih is mahat swarupaha. The meaning of the word brih is of the nature of bigness. Mahatva rupa, Mahatva rupa means of the nature of bigness. Mahatva means bigness. Iti, in this manner, Vyakaranat Dishiyate. In this manner, it is ascertained from the grammar. If you know little bit grammar, Vrihadhatu, that Pratyaman is there, and you derive this Brahman word, so you understand Brahman refers to something which is of the nature of bigness. Why? Brihi Vruddhau iti Smaranat. Because of the mention. Smaranat means because of the mention in what you call Dhatu Patha, not Ashtadhyayi, Dhatu Patha, which is supposed to be a Panini. So Smaranat means because of the mention in the grammar books, what? Brihi Vruddhau. That is the style of mentioning the meaning of the root. The mentioning of the root with this meaning. Brihi Vruddhau. So this style we have to get used to. Bhuvi Sattayam. So Bhuvi Sattayam what? So Brihi Vruddhau. Bruh Dhatu in the sense of Vruddhi. Vruddhi means pervade, to be big. Sacha. Sa means Vruddhi. Sacha Vruddhihi. He himself clarifies. And that Vruddhi, that bigness, Niravadika Mahatvam iti Jnayate. Jnayate, we have to connect with Jnayate. So what is said here? The word Brahman is derived from Brihadhatu. Brihadhatu conveys the bigness, and that bigness is Niravadika Mahatvam. It is limitless bigness. Mahatvam is bigness. Niravadika means limitless. So the bigness conveyed by the word Brahman is limitless. So Brahman finally means what? Limitlessly big. Limitless bigness is conveyed by the word Brahman. Iti Jnayate. Why? How do you say that by this word Brahman or by the root Bru, the limitless bigness is conveyed? He says Sankochaka Bhavat. So by the word, to be precise, by the word, this bigness which is conveyed is limitlessly big. Limitless. How do you know? Sankochaka Bhavat. Because of the absence of any confining factor. Achha, what is the meaning of that? We have seen earlier. See, generally when we use the word big, it is used as an adjective. Like we say big mosquito. So big mosquito, however mosquito you imagine big, you don't imagine this big. Mosquito big means generally it is like this, it's little bit big. So when you use the word big, it is confined by the noun it accompanies. So word big is used as an adjective, and the bigness conveyed by the adjective, the word big, is confined by the noun it accompanies. If I say big mountain, then bigness is different. Big river, bigness is different. We say big galaxy, bigness is different. So these all are called Sankochaka. Sankochaka means they will be limiting the bigness conveyed by the word big. But now what Shruti is doing, Shruti is converting the adjective into noun. An adjective is converted into noun, then noun need not have adjective further. See, adjective requires noun, but noun doesn't require adjective. So now the adjective big is converted into noun, Brahman. And therefore, what is the meaning of Brahman? The big. And since it is a noun itself and there is no adjective used, we have converted into noun, and therefore there is no Sankochaka. Sankochaka means Upapada. Technically they call Upapada. This accompanying word which will limit the bigness conveyed by the word big. That's Sankochaka Bhavat. Yeah, because we are saying big, the big. Therefore what? Vruddhihi niravadikam mahatvam iti jnayate. That is how we have to connect. Sankochaka bhavat sa vruddhihi niravadika mahatvam iti jnayate. This is one reason. Then another one also. Shrutau ananta padena saha prayogacha. While describing Brahman, Shruti said what? Satyam Dhanam Anantam Brahma. So there is no Sankochaka Pada, therefore Niravadika Mahatvam, absolute bigness. And even if you say, no, Sankocha pada has to be there, okay, that Sankocha pada is Ananta. And therefore, by using the word Ananta, Ananta padena saha prayogacha, kasya Brahma Shabdasya. So because of the usage along with the word Ananta, limitless, therefore Vruddhihi, the bigness conveyed by the word Brahma is Niravadika Mahatvam, is limitless bigness. Na iti gnayate, in this manner it is understood. So what is the meaning, what is the idea conveyed by this Tika Vakya? Brahman means limitlessly big. How do you know? Because there is no limiting factor, limiting word to limit the bigness conveyed by the word Brahman. And if at all there is a word, it is Ananta. Anantam word is there, which is also conveying the idea that Brahman is big. So while revealing the nature of Brahma, the word Anantam is used. That also makes it clear that the bigness conveyed by the word Brahman is limitless. So here, Sankochaka bhavat shruto ananta padena saha prayogacha sacha vruddhihi niravadika mahattvamiti gnayate. This is how Anvaya is there. Iti. Iti means what? Iti vyakhyatam. So many iti are there. So iti vyakhyatam. Kutra ratta prabhayam vyakhyatam. And he gives one more sentence. What? Ataha brahmanat brahma iti vyutpatya desha kala vastu krita paricheda bhava rupam nityatvam pratiyate iti cha. Again we have to go back to Ratna Prabhayam Vyakhyatam. Alright, what is said here? Ataha, therefore, because of the above mentioned reason, the Sankochaka Bhava Truto Ananta Padena, these two reasons, this Niravadika Mahatvam is talked about, therefore, Brahmanat Brahma. Brahmana means being big, being pervasive. So, reality is called Brahma because of its being all pervasive, or because of all pervasiveness, or because of limitless bigness. So reality is called Brahma because of its being limitlessly big. Iti vyutpatya, because of this etymology of the word Brahman, desha kala vastu krita paricheda bhava rupam nityatvam pratiyate. So by the word and by the etymology of the word Brahma, nityatvam, the timelessness, pratiyate, is understood. But here nityatvam is not merely in terms of being free from limitation of time. Therefore he says, desha kala vastu kruta paricheda bhava rupam. The timelessness which is in the form of absence of, which is characterized by the absence of the limitation, paricheda means limitation, kruta, brought about by, desha, place, kala, time, vastu means object. So we have seen that every object we come across has got these three types of limitation. This pencil is time-wise limited because it was not there, it will not be there. Space-wise limited because it is here only, it is not elsewhere. Right now it is here only, not elsewhere. And object-wise limited because it is pencil only. It is not pen, it is not this book, clip, etc. So this desha kala vastu kruta paricheda. These are three types of limitation, and this Brahma is conveying that type of nityatvam which is characterized by the absence of the three types of limitation. Iticha Bhashyaratna Prabhayam Vyakhyatam. So he quoted the Bhashyam, he quoted the Ratna Prabha. Now one more thing. The Bhashya Ratna Prabha perhaps you have studied, but now he said something new. Tatha Suta Samhita Vyakhyane Api Uktam. So even in the explanation of Suta Samhita, also this idea is conveyed. Okay, Suta Samhita आपको लेना पड़ेगा. MRI का है book, 2 volumes. It's a big book. So it is there. I would like to study this. Nice topics are there. The Sutta Samhita, just little bit about it. Sutta Samhita is a part of Skanda Purana. There are so many Ashtadasha Puranas are there. Out of them, one is Skanda Purana. Skanda Purana is known for, you know what? The biggest volume. It's, I think, 185,000 or something shlokas are there. The biggest Upanishad, biggest Purana is Skanda Purana. So these are objective questions. What is the biggest Purana? The smallest, I think, is among this Garuda Purana, if I remember, or Kaliki Purana. I have to just verify. Okay, this Purana. Biggest one is this Skanda Purana. In that, so many Upadeshas are there. So many parts are there. Each part is referred to as a Samhita collection. And one is Sutta Samhita. And it has got about 6,000 verses. In our Shastra, this Purana and all these things will be always in thousands. So they had leisure. The Shrota had leisure and Vakta also had leisure. So big. So 6,000 shlokas are there. And it has got 4 khandas. Nice to know at least. Sutta Puran mein kya hai. So you have, it is nice to have ideas. Sutta Puran. 10 मिनट के लिए तो प्रवचन कर ही सकते हैं. Alright. So you can start with, see, Veda Vyasa is called Purana Munina. Why? Because he has written Purana. Okay. So for this Sutta Samhita has got 4 khandas. The first khanda is called Shiva Mahatmya Khanda. I am telling this because I also want to remember this. Nice to know. Shiva Mahatmya Khanda. Second is Jnana Yoga Khanda. Third is Mukti Khanda. Fourth is called Yagna Vaibhava Khanda. And under this Yagna Vaibhava Khanda, there is a Brahma Gita and a Sutta Gita. So now I am giving the address of whatever reference is. We are now, the reference given is of Brahma Gita. Okay. And in Brahma Gita, the presentation is like somewhat Anubhuti Prakash, one text is there of Vidyaranya Swami, where commentary on the Upanishads in shloka form, verse form. And that Brahma Gita does that. So in Brahma Gita, this reference is there of the derivation of Brahman. And by the way, this one classification of Sutta Samhita is Sutta Samhita is dealing with the 4 topics: Kriya, Bhakti, Jnana, Dhyana. So these are the 4 topics discussed in Sutta Samhita. Okay. This much is enough for Sutta Samhita. Now Sutta Samhita Vyakhyane Uktam. Tatha means similarly, similar idea. Tatha also has got a similar idea is told in the Sutta Samhita Vyakhyana. What? Brahma Satya Jnana Sukha Dvayam. See, Yagna is written, no, that Yagna means Yagna Vaibhava Khanda. See, otherwise you may wonder what is this Yagna? Which Yagna Sabhuji? So it is not, he is a Yagna Vaibhava Khanda. He should have made it clear, because nobody will, those who have not read or heard about it, they will not make out, no? Yagna. And Brahma Gi. So, Gi perhaps, Brahma Gi, at least that perhaps we can guess Brahma Gita. But 331, the version I have in that 331, it is not there. So I took a lot of time, 331 is something else. So in some version, in fact there are different versions also. They write also, I am following this version. So they printed in this, I am following, like that they have written. See, that's why this Sutta Samhita took a lot of my time. So Brahma didn't take much time, but Sutta Samhita took time. Okay. So Brahma Gita Vyakhyane api uktam. What? Brahma Satya Jnana Sukha Dvayam. Brahman is Jnanam, consciousness, which is Satya. which is unnegatable existence. Sukha. Sometimes the word Sukha is used, sometimes Ananta is used. Because Ananta alone is called Sukha when seen as the basis for happiness, experiential happiness. Sukha. So Satchidananda or Satyam Dhanam Ananta both convey the same idea. Sukha means the fullness. Advayam, non-dual. So Brahman is non-dual existence, consciousness, which is fullness. And how do you get this idea that Brahman is like this? Brihaddatmarthasya anugamat. Because of the conformity with the meaning of the word, meaning of the root brih. Because of the accordance, conformity with the meaning of the word, meaning of the root brih. Means brihadhatu. If we brihadhatu and pratyaya, if we do analysis of the word Brahma etymologically, you will derive these ideas. And he explained Tathahi. Tathahi means explanation follows. What? Brihi, Ruddhav. He gives both the dhatus. Bruh dhatu is that, in fact, Hakaranta it is. Bruh and Brihi, Ruddhav. Anything?
Original dhatu might be Bruha.
Yeah, Bruha, because that Anunasika, they have to, for the Yaswara, correct. It might be Akara, yes. Originally that Anunasika, Ajut, yes, correct. So Bruha, Bruhi. But generally when we refer to the root, we say Bruh only. We don't say Bruha. But in the Dhatu Patha, it can be Akaranta, yes. Because of that, they based on that, they will Idita, Udita and all this, they require. Bruha, Bruhi, Bruddho. So two forms are there. Bruha, Bruhi, Bruddho. So out of these two are Dhatu. Otherwise, Bruh, Bruhi. Those who do not know will say, Bruh, Bruhi. So seventh case, Bruhi. Bruhi is not seventh case. Bruhi, Bruh, Bruhi are referring to the roots. Bruddho is the meaning. Bruha Dhatu or Bruhi Dhatu are in the sense of Ruddhi. Ruddhi means being big. Iti, in this manner, Dhatuhu Vruddhim Achaste. In this manner means, iti Dhatu Pathas Baranat. Because of the mention in the Dhatu Patha, this Vruddhi, Bruhi Dhatu is Vruddhim Achaste. Achaste means conveys. The root Bru is conveying the idea of Vruddhi, bigness. Sacha Vruddhihi, and that bigness, that pervasiveness, Pratiyogi Visheshanupadana, because of the non-mention of the counterpart, the confining factor, specifying factor, Niratishaya Eva. The Niratishaya means absolute or unsurpassable alone. Vivakshita is intended to be conveyed. So that Vruddhi, that bigness, is intended to be conveyed as absolute bigness, unsurpassable bigness, because of the non-mention of the counterpart, confining factor. Alright. So far what has been said? The word Brahman is derived from Brihadhatu, and Brihadhatu conveys the idea of bigness without any limit. Now, he said from that we derive that this Brahman must be free from Vastu Paricheda. He says, Saticha Vastvantare Tena Parichedat Vruddhehe Niratishayatvam Bhajyeta. So, Saticha Vastvantare. If there is another thing, another substance other than Brahman, Vastvantare Sati, if there is any other thing existing, then what will happen? Tena, by that vastu, by that thing. Suppose we assume X, like they always tell X. So, suppose there is X entity, which is different from Brahman. Then by that X entity, what will happen? Parichedat. There will be limiting. The X factor will be limiting Brahman in terms of its bigness. Where X is, Brahman is not. Where Brahman is, X is not. So Brahman will be limited. X also will be limited. But here we are not bothered about X being limited. Brahman will be limited. So tena parichedat vruddhehe niratishayatvam. The limitlessness of this bigness bhajyeta. Bhajyeta will be broken, means will be violated, will be dismissed. Which is Swamiji used to say that when we were small and two children in the school, they do some mistake. Then he said, what is the punishment? Punishment, they have to hold the ears of each other and they do the ups and downs. And they, while doing this, they have to say, because of you, I am done. Because of me, you are done. So that they will remain that don't support any wrong activities. So similarly, Swamiji used to say, similarly, if anything else is there, because of that thing, Brahman will be limited. And because of Brahman, that thing will be limited. And therefore, Brahman to be Brahman, Brahman to be limitlessly big, no other entity can be existent other than Brahman. So, Vastvantare Niratishayatvam Bhajyeta. So, Vruddhehe Niratishayatvam is limitlessness of this bigness or absoluteness of this bigness, unsurpassability of this bigness will be violated. Tathacha, and thus Vastvantara Kruta Paricheda Rahitameva Brahma Shabda Vachyam Bhavitum Arhati. Therefore, only that reality which is Rahitam, free from Paricheda, the limitation, Kruta, caused by, brought about by another Vastu. So only that thing, Eva means only that thing or that reality which is free from the limitation caused by another thing, Bhavitum Arhati, can become Brahma Shabda Vachyam, the one denoted by the word Brahman. So that which is limitlessly, that which is not limited by Vastu Paricheda alone can become the entity conveyed by the word Brahma. Brahma Shabda Vachyam is conveyed by the word Brahman. In a simple words, only that thing which is free from object-wise limitation can become the meaning of the word Brahma. Vachyam is meaning. And so what about this? I am experiencing so many things. I am not experiencing Brahman. I am experiencing the entire Dvaita Prapancha, this dualistic world. So how will you reconcile? Does it mean that Brahman is not there? Because Brahman, to be Brahman, has to be limitless. And now Dvaita Prapancha is there, which is not seem to be Brahman. See, other than Brahman, we are not calling anything to be Brahman. We say this is book, this is pencil, etc. So all these are there different. How can then Brahman be Brahman if these things are there? For that possible doubt he answers. Dvaita Prapanchasya Tat Swarupe Adhyastataya Eva Pratitehe Vastu Taha Tat Swarupanatirik Vastutaha Tat Swarupanatirik. So Dvaita Prapanchasya, see the dualistic world, Anatiriktatvat, since it is non-separate from this dualistic world which you are seeing, since it is non-separate from Tat Swarupa, Brahma Swarupa, therefore this Prapancha cannot become a limiting factor. And how do you say that Dvaita Prapancha is not separate from Brahma Swarupa? For that he says, Tat Swarupe Adhyastataya Eva Pratitehe. Because of this finding of wise person, we have to say Pratitehe means Jnaninaha Pratitehe. Because of the vision of a wise person about the Dvaita Prapancha is what? Adhyastataya. Since the dualistic world is seen as superimposed upon Brahma Swarupa, upon the reality which is of the nature of being limitless. Since Dvaita Prapancha is Adhyasta, superimposed upon Brahma, therefore it is Vastutaha Swarupanatiriktaha. Therefore in reality it is not separate from Brahman. Why? Because whatever is Kalpita cannot exist apart from Adhisthana. So Dvaita Prapancha being superimposed upon Brahman, Dvaita Prapancha does not exist apart from Brahman. Therefore, Dvaita Prapancha cannot cause any limitation for Brahman. Tathacha, so Vastukruta Bheda is not there for Brahman. Tathacha, similarly, Vastukruta Paricheda Nirakaranena eva Deshakala Paricheda api Nirastaha Veditabhyaha Deshakalayoho api Parikalpitattvena Vastutaha Tadrupa Natirekat. Vastutaha means in reality and Vastuta means as an entity. As an entity, it is not different. But better meaning is in reality. Okay. So here he says that Vastutaha Paricheda is not there. Deshakala Paricheda can be there. Or he said that also Desha Tathacha, and thus Vastukruta Paricheda Nirakaranena eva, by the negation of the limitation caused by the object itself. Means when you do this negation of the limitation caused by the object, by that itself, Desha Kala Kruta Parichedaha, limitation caused by Desha and Kala, also Nirastaha Veditavyaha, should be understood to be negative. When you Vastu Paricheda is dismissed, then Desha Kala Paricheda also is dismissed. Why? Because Desha Kala also one type of Vastu, Vyavaharika Vastu. And therefore, when Vastu Paricheda is not there, Desha Kala Paricheda also will not be there. Why? He explains, Desha Kalayoho api Parikalpitatvena. Like any other thing in Dvaita Prapancha is Parikalpita, Desha Kala also is Parikalpita. So, because of being projected or superimposed upon, because of these being superimposed on the part of Desha and Kala, space and time, Vastutaha Tadrupa Natirekat. In reality, they do not have any separation from Brahman. So, Dvaita Prapancha is not separate from Brahma because Dvaita Prapancha is Adhyastha. And since it is non-separate from Brahman, therefore it does not cause Vastu Paricheda for Brahman. Similarly, Desha Kala also are Parikalpita. Therefore, Desha Kala also cannot be separate from this Brahman. Therefore, Desha Kala also cannot create any limitation. Evam Dvaita Parokshasya Adhishthanatvena Tad Badhavaditvena Cha Trividya Paricheda Rahitam Yadaditviyam Tat Satyam Eva Eshtavyam Iti. So, Evam, in this manner, Dvaita Parokshasya Adhishthanatvena. All of a sudden, this Dvaita Parokshasya means what? Dhanadhyasa. Dvaita Parokshasya means the perception, the pratyaksha of this dualistic world. Tasya Adhishthanam. Brahman is the Adhishthanam for the perception of Dvaitam. Why? Because Dhanadhyasa Adhishthanam is always Chaitanya. So, Dvaita Parokshasya Adhisthanatvena Brahma. Brahma being the Adhishthanam of the perception of Dvaitam, duality, we technically call Dhanadhyasa. Dhanadhyasa Adhisthanatvena. Because of being Adhishthanam of Dhanadhyasa of this Dvaitam, Dvaita Rupa Arthasya Yad Dhanam Tasya Tadeva Adhyasaha Dhanadhyasaha. So, Dvaita Parokshasya refers to this Dhanadhyasa. So, Brahman is the Adhishthanam of Dhanadhyasa. Is it clear? Dhanadhyasa. Adhisthanatvena Tad Badhavaditvena Cha. And also being the limit of the negation of the Dvaita Prapancha. Means it is a avadi, the limit of the negation of this Prapancha. Means what? It is Arthadhyasa Adhisthana. Jagat is Arthadhyasa, Jagat Jnanam is Jnanadhyasa. And Brahman is the Adhishthanam of Jagat Jnanadhyasa. And Brahman is the avadi, the limit of the negation of Arthadhyasa. Acha, what is the meaning of limit? See, this Gata is adhyastha in the clay because there is no substance called Gata. Therefore, Gata is adhyastha in clay. And clay is also adhyastha in Prithvi. Prithvi is adhyastha in this Jalam. And like that we will go and we will finally end up in Maya. And Maya is adhyastham in Brahman. Therefore, tad badha avaditvena. So Brahman is the limit of this, the badha, the negations of this prapancha. And therefore what? So being adhishthanam of this dvaita perception and being the limit of the negation of the dvaita prapancham, trivida paricheda rahitam yad advitiyam tas satyam eva ishtavyam. And therefore the Brahman is satyam alone. That is being said. And therefore the trivida paricheda rahitam, the Brahman which is the free from these threefold limitations, trivida paricheda rahitam is free from threefold limitation, and yat which is advitiyam, which is non-dual, tat, that Brahma satyam eva eshtavyam, should be accepted as satyam alone. In fact, this part is the commentary on the Taittiriya Satyam Dhanam Anantam Brahma. So in that Brahma Gita, this presentation is in the form of commentary on the content of some Upanishads. So here Satyam Dhanam Anantam is analyzed and this Vyakhyanam is there. So what is said here so far? That Brahman is Trivida Paricheda Shunyam and it is Satyam. So what is definition given so far? Brahman is limitless consciousness, which is, this idea is derived from Grihadhatu, and this Brahman is being the adhishthanam of Dvaita Prapancha. It is Satyam. Iti. Up to this, iti should be again connected to Suta Samhita Vyakhyane Uktam. Tathahi Uktam. Alright, more we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.